Hello everyone. My name is Alexander Krämer. I'm a healthcare equity research analyst here at ABG, and today I have the pleasure to host Viktor Siewertz. Viktor is the CFO of IRLAB. IRLAB is a neuroscience company based in Gothenburg, Sweden. And I would like to start this ABG Fireside chat with asking Viktor, could you please give a short recap of IRLAB? What is the focus of your company?
Absolutely, nice to be here. IRLAB is, as you said, a neuro company. We are focused on research and development. We work with illnesses in the brain and therapies for treating illnesses in the brain, and are focusing on Parkinson's disease. So we dare to say that we are basically the world leader in Parkinson's disease treatments. We are about 35 people based in Gothenburg, and we have 5 programs in our portfolio at the moment. So we have the lead candidate is mesdopetam, where we just had a successful meeting with the FDA as an end of phase 2 meeting. So we are currently preparing for phase 3 in that one. We have mesdopetam is aimed at treating falls, and indications can be expanded after, LIDS, which is a debilitating condition that you get after treating people, after about 5 years treating them with levodopa, which is a mainstay treatment for Parkinson's. They start to, or many of them, about half, start to experience these uncontrolled movements, which is really debilitating for the patients. So that is mesdopetam. Mm-hmm. Then we have pirepemat. We're currently in the middle of a phase 2b study. Pirepemat is aimed at treating falls in Parkinson's disease. When you have Parkinson's, after a while you get problems with your postural instability and you fall, and that is also very debilitating for the life of Parkinson patients, because if you fall, you will develop a fear of falling, and that means that you won't get up and you won't be able to live a full life. So that is something that Parkinson patients themselves say is one of the biggest problems for them. And there are currently no treatments for falls in Parkinson's. So that is super exciting. Then we have 3 preclinical programs. We have IRL757, and those do not have names yet. It will come later on in the development process. But we have IRL757, which is aimed at apathy, and not only in Parkinson's, but here we go a little bit outside of Parkinson's, so other neurological disorders, especially the neurodegenerative ones like Alzheimer's and all the other dementia disorders. Patients there will develop apathy to a large extent, and that is also very disturbing both for the patients and for their surroundings, their families, their caregivers. So that is also a big need in that. We have IRL 942, which is another molecule aimed at increasing cognitive functions, also in neurodegenerative disorders. And last, by no means least, we have IRL 1117, which is we will present data for the first time ever, show it to the world on the ADPD conference in Lisbon this week. And we believe that we have a compound that is a D1, D2 agonist, and we think that it might have the potential to actually replace levodopa as a standard treatment if everything goes as we want in the future development. So what really differs it from everything else on the market or that we see in the pipeline is that you can take it once daily instead of levodopa, which you have to take up to 10 times daily. With 1117, you would be able to take 1 tablet or 1 capsule once daily, and furthermore, it doesn't seem to develop the kind of problems that levodopa induce after a while. So we're really excited about that one.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that was a little bit about the profile. And how do we discover all these? Because and especially in the discovery phase, we use our proprietary research platform, the ISP, which stands for Integrative Research. Integrative Screening Process, and that is based on it starts basically in looking at efficacy and safety first. So we try to find molecules which are efficacious and safe, and then we sort of work backwards and to find out the mechanisms and so on. And I just want to be clear that I am not a scientist, so I'm just very, very simplified. That is how it works. Instead of having an idea about the mechanism and then going through a lot of development before you know if it's safe or efficacious.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. And with that, maybe we can start chatting a little bit about your main program, your lead program, I would say. You mentioned it already, it's the mesdopetam program.
Yes.
And recently you had a very important milestone there. You had your end of phase 2 meeting with the FDA.
Yes.
And afterwards you have communicated that there has been an alignment with the FDA.
Yes.
On the design of the phase 3 program. And my question here would be like, how does this FDA feedback align with your expectations, and how does it align with the potential phase 3 design that you've presented at your CMD last year?
We've been working with it for a long time, and we're working with American regulatory experts that helps us a lot with this program. And basically what we've seen and what we've developed during the last 6 or 12 months actually is confirmed, we would like to say, by the FDA. So that's why we say that we have an alignment with them. But it's not only the design of phase 3 study that we discuss with FDA. It's also the full program from day one, basically, up until the phase 2b study that was concluded a year ago, basically. So FDA has looked into all the data from this, and we have provided them with everything we've got. And to be honest, everything you do before phase 3 is aimed at getting a data set that FDA considers sufficient to start phase 3. So I'm a little bit proud that we, as a small Swedish company, has been able to actually do that, and to see that the phase 2 studies that we've done is a great foundation for going into phase 3. Because that's the objective of these phase 2 studies and all the other development we've done. Not only the clinical studies, we have a lot of preclinical studies as well. We have a lot of CMC development, that is manufacturing of the active ingredient and the tablets and all that development, which is a huge work that you shouldn't underestimate. And if we have looked into that as well, and everything is in place. Then there's a lot that needs to be done. So it's not only the clinical studies in the phase 3 program. We have a few more phase 1 studies that needs to be done and so on before we can file for registration. But that's how you do it, and so that's absolutely normal. So, but the alignment with FDA is that everything we've done so far is sufficient to start the phase 3 program as such.
That sounds very good. Yes, and my next question relates to the outlook after this FDA meeting. So what you have communicated in your press release is that there will be the official meeting minutes that will come from the FDA very soon in the coming days or weeks. And my question would be like, are you aiming for, like, what is your next step now in the next weeks and months? And so the outcome of this end of phase 2 meeting, could it serve as an entry point for a potential partnership or some agreement?
Yes, as you point to, there's a lot going on now in the mesdopetam project in different processes. So we have the strategizing and the final design of the studies, so to speak. That is one track and one process that's going on. Since the FDA basically aligned with what we've been thinking before, we have quite a good idea about how the phase 3 clinical program should look. So we're working on that with our American regulatory and clinical experts that helps us doing that in the best way possible. As you said, we also have a business development process going on, and I wouldn't say that the FDA is the starting point for the business development discussions. We've been open with that we've spoken to potential licensees for 12 years. So that's not new. However, the discussions have intensified during the autumn, and we have a roster of potential licensees. But of course, the FDA feedback and the formal response from them that we will get, as you said, in a couple of weeks, that of course I hope will intensify the discussions even more. And I think it's fair to assume that companies wouldn't put a lot of resources into looking at a new project before they have the FDA feedback. So that is another process going on. And that also, the business development or the financing of the study, we need to make sure that mesdopetam gets into phase 3 and that we can start doing the phase 3 studies to get to the market as soon as possible, because that's always the end game is the market. So we are, as always, looking for the shareholders' the best solution for the shareholders, basically, and that could be a license deal. It could be financing of IRLAB through some other kind of financing vehicle, or it could be that we set up an SPV and get that financed from external financiers and so on. So we're looking at a broad palette of solutions to get mesdopetam into phase 3. So we're not closing any doors.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. Staying a little bit more with mesdopetam, or like opening up maybe a little bit our talk towards the general space in the neuroscience and in the CNS space. Like, how does the current market environment look like? I mean, from you're the CFO of a company, of course, you're very well aware of the different deals in the space, like what kind of deals are happening, for example, in the US and Europe between big pharma companies and like smaller neuroscience companies.
Well, we feel that the interest for CNS or neurology is increasing. There's always a pendulum going back and forth, and we now feel that it's coming our way again. And you could see that in the two quite large deals that were announced just before Christmas, with Karuna that was bought for $14 billion and Cerevel that was bought for $8.4, I think, billion. If you look at those companies and their pipelines, they don't differ too much from IRLAB, but they are at the same time they are totally different species. The American companies are very, very different from European companies, and at least Swedish or Nordic companies. They have another torque, or they have much more money, they have much bigger organizations and so on. But still, it shows that there is a big interest for CNS. And then last week or a couple of weeks ago, Denali is another American neuro company. They made a financing of $500 million from great investors. So that also shows that there is an interest globally for CNS, I would say. And we feel that as well. And in our BD discussions, the business development or licensing discussions, we also see a big interest. So that is encouraging for us.
Okay, that sounds very interesting, and of course it's very positive that the neurobiotech market is opening up again after there has been quite some muted period in the last years. Now shifting a little bit gears, I would like to address the pirepemat program. So the pirepemat program is your second asset, I would say, after the mesdopetam. And here you have this the REACT PD study ongoing. And here also quite recently you have shared an update that actually there's some positive news that there's a higher false frequency in this trial and a lower dropout rate, which allows you to initiate discussions about a study amendment to potentially reduce the study size. And here I would like to know what is the status of these discussions, and because previously you have guided with that update that enrollment should be finished by the third quarter this year.
Yeah. The process is ongoing. The regulatory process is ongoing. So nothing really new to report there. So that's all going good. And as you said, we saw two important things, and that was the false frequency that was higher than we thought, and also that patients were really pleased with being in the study. So what we're looking at now is the completion of the recruitment, which we have guided to be finalized in Q3. So that's all good. And then we have a 1 month run-in period, and we have 3 months of treatment, and then some follow-up, and then we need to database lock and so on. So then you can do the calculation yourself when we can look out for data from that study.
Looking forward to see that. And now to the last program, which I've also mentioned, the 757 program.
Yep.
One thing that we didn't talk about yet today is that you have received a very nice grant from the Michael J. Fox Foundation.
Yeah.
And here I would like, and also there has been some discussions with MSRD and Otsuka company around this program.
Yep.
And can we expect that there's some sort of collaboration to crystallize in 2024 due to that there's such a large interest apparently in the field around this program?
We hope so. Well, first a few words about Michael J. Fox. I mean, maybe you're aware of his initiative. He got diagnosed with Parkinson's, I think, was 27 or 29 years old. So, and since then he basically worked with his foundation. So I think he raised about $2 billion to Parkinson's disease research. And they have a huge network. They are the super respected foundation, have a huge network of really the leading neurologists and Parkinson's experts. So getting there, I mean, we got about $2 million for them, which covers the cost for doing a phase 1 study. So they are financing the first in human study, the single ascending dose and the multiple ascending dose. And that is good. But I'm even more proud about the endorsement we get from them, that we actually get their attention and that they like our programs and our approach and how we work. So that is very good news. And then we have the MSRD or Otsuka discussion that's ongoing, and that is by no means a competition between those. Any company in the world would be glad to get Michael J. Fox endorsement for a program. So that just increases the interest, I would say. And the Michael J. Fox Foundation, their objective is, of course, to get Parkinson medications to the market. So if their presence can attract more powerful entities going into IRL 757 and helping developing that program, that increases the likelihood of that coming to the market, which is good for Michael J. Fox. So there's no the interests are aligned, and that is also something that we see, and we've gotten quite some attention from the global community that the Michael J. Fox Foundation actually invested and endorsed our program.
Absolutely, I agree. I mean, of course, it's a very nice validation of the IRLAB approach that the Michael J. Fox Foundation joined your efforts.
Exactly.
And to finish up our Fireside chat, I would like to ask you to comment about the outlook for 2024 for IRLAB, how it is positioned in a general Nordic or Swedish Scandinavian biotech market, and like what kind of sentiment you feel there, and like what you expect for the year to come.
That's a big question for just wrapping up.
Yeah.
What I see for 2024, I mean, we have the 757, where we hope to start phase 1 studies in Q2. We need to get the approval from the regulators and so on, but that is what we're aiming for. We have mesdopetam, which is super interesting with the licensing deals or the phase 3 and so on. And if we're talking about 2024, hopefully there's a chance that we can start treating patients in a phase 3 during 24, maybe. And then we have the pirepemat study, finalizing the recruitment and maybe getting data during 24. And then we also have the other preclinical programs, the 942 and 1117, that might be advanced a little bit more. So it's extremely intense at IRLAB at the moment, and we have many trigger points during the next 12 to 18 months. And I'm really excited about seeing where we're going on all these triggers. When it comes to IRLAB in the market, we feel that we are a little bit unique with our broad portfolio. We're such a small company, and we still have 5 compounds, which is totally different from each other in our portfolio. That is quite unique, and it puts some demands on us. We need to take all these forward in a good way, and a lot of balls to juggle with at the same time.
Okay.
So it's rewarding and very, very interesting to work with.
Okay. Thank you very much, Viktor, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'll be curious to hear more about IRLAB milestones this year in 2024.
Yep.
And thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.